Well, good morning. It is Thursday the 14th of April 2011. I've had 36 hours in St David's, staying in a very comfortable hotel, and I'm just popping in now to have a look at the cathedral, and then I'll be back down onto the path. So this is the entrance, I believe, to the cathedral. St David's is really a village, but in 1995 the Queen decreed it could be a city. Isn't that just beautiful? Apparently it was built in this valley for protection and to make it relatively inconspicuous to, I think it was people like the French in case of invasion. As ever, I'm way behind today's schedule. I went down into St David's from the hotel to look around the cathedral, and then I basically have done quite a wide loop around the cathedral to get me back on the way to White Sands, where I've got to resume the path. So I've still got 12.5 miles to walk today, and it's 20 past 11 already. So in classic style, we'll be having a late finish again. I spent all of yesterday in bed in this very comfortable hotel, sleeping, catching up on emails and that sort of thing. And I realised that I was carrying, I think, a bit of a cold, which was making me feel particularly tired. So I think it's been a good thing to have done. And the weather was shocking yesterday. It's a lot better today. I think we'll have some patchy cloud. We've had a bit of mizzle, and then we'll have some sun. Anyway, we're back on the path today. Well, greetings from St David's Head. Just been up there. So that's actually St David's Head itself, where those people are, and that's looking eastwards, north and eastwards along the coast. That's inland, and that's Whitewater Bay, White Sand Bay, sorry, and St David's you can't see, but it's in the distance. We're making progress. Yes, we are. That's the headland extending, I think it's south and west, back towards St David's. St David's is in the very distance. This is the coastline at Treffin, as it shows on the map. Let me just zoom in a bit and see if you can see that. See the rock, and then to the left of it, can you see there's a bit of a whirlpool going on, and that's where the tide is ripping through that. I should think that is travelling at about 4 knots or so at the moment. Pretty rapid, and then further beyond that you can possibly just make out the dark patches and shapes, and that's further tide races. So it's quite a busy spot here. This is Porthgain. Good morning. It is Friday the 15th of April 2011. I am walking from Treffin to Goodwick. It's about 17-18 miles, and apparently it's quite a steep section of coast path. I have today handed over my rucksack contents to a luggage carrier who's charging me £8 to take it 20 odd miles to the next destination. So if it works, then I will probably continue that for the last 2 or 3 days of the walk, just to save my back and maintain my energy overall. I also gather the very last day is quite a tough day as well, because we come out to the steepest bits of the coastline along here. And apparently, I think today we walk along some of the steepest cliffs in Britain, or the highest cliffs in Britain. Feeling still very tired today, but certainly better than I was, and really enjoying not having all the weight on my back. I've stocked up with food and drink for the day ahead. The weather is, well, sorry about the wind, the weather is cloudy, but I think we may have the odd shower, but I don't think anything too major. And we're heading way off into the distance over there. This is Abercastle behind me, isn't it lovely? Just come across some. There's a raven. That's a chough. Can't see him at the moment. There's a pair of choughs. And a black-backed gull. Now, why am I showing you these? Because over in the field are a load of sheep and lambs, and unfortunately those ravens, don't know about the choughs, I doubt if it's the choughs, but the black-backed gull are all here waiting to have a pop at one of the lambs. That's what they do. They go for lambs when they're asleep, and they try and take their eyes out, or indeed they hang around for a lamb which may die. Don't think there's any sign of that happening this year. It's been a much easier spring, I think, but that's what they're doing. They're hanging around, and before I spoke them off the fence, the ravens were just on the fence watching the lambs. And this is a bit of Wolf Coast I've walked this morning. A lot easier, not carrying so much weight. And then round past that headland. I've come across these black sheep. I've only just switched the camera on now, but they've been running all over the place, been quite hilarious, not knowing which way to go. But, off they're all trotting now. This is the bit of headland on the way round to Strumble Head, and that is Strumble Head where the lighthouse is flashing. And you do get a tremendous sense of isolation here, but again you're not really. I think there's a couple of towns and villages just inland, but I wish I had more time just to chill out for an afternoon. That there is Strumble Head Lighthouse. Well, in front of us is the entrance to Fishguard Harbour, and Fishguard is, I believe, over in the distance, and before that is Goodwick, where I'm now heading to find my B&B. The weather is closing in. I may get to my digs before the rain hits, so let's keep going. Well, good morning. It is Saturday the 16th of April. This is essentially Fishguard. That's the port over there where the ferries come in. That's the open sea. That's Dinner's Head, where I'm heading for today. And then keep going around more of the harbour. Fishguard proper, the town, is that one there. And then this is sort of the centre. Stayed at a lovely B&B last night. 10 o'clock leaving, a bit late leaving because we had a long chat, but hopefully it's not too bad a day today. Right foot slightly sore, over the top physio job I think when I get back. Apart from that, all is well. So this is my penultimate day of walking the Pembrokeshire Coast Path before I return to London next week for Easter and a royal wedding. I'm not the one getting married, William is. And so we've got a day of cloud with a bit of sun trying to poke its way through. I think they're saying it will clear this afternoon, which would be nice. We're still at Fishguard, but we've just gone around from the main harbour, and I think this is near Lower Town, so it's one of the inlets as you come out of Fishguard harbour. So this is looking back up towards Fishguard, and a few centuries ago the French landed near here to then try and secure Fishguard as their port, so that their main invasion force could come ashore here. But in the process, the invaders, many of whom were conscripts, found loads of local booze, got drunk and incapacitated, and as a result the invasion was very, very short-lived, but that all took place here. We're climbing up to St Dina's Head. I just want to show you how the onshore breeze is keeping us relatively clear here, but just on inland it's clouded over. Dare say it might be raining inland as well. I'm not complaining, the sun is shining at the moment. Next stop, Dina's Head. So on the top of Dinas, 429 feet on the trip point, and the sun is just finding a way through this thin veil of cloud. I'm now going to find somewhere to have some lunch and then onward. We're above the clouds. It's just lovely. On we go. I've forgotten where I'm staying tonight, so I've had to send a text to the luggage transfer guy, and hopefully he'll text me back telling me where I'm staying tonight. Yep. This is just one of the creeks I've walked through, and there is no one here. I mean, there's nothing here anyway. Lovely little sandy, lovely little cove. You could bring your yacht in here, moor up if the wind's in the right direction, and have it all to yourself. Isn't that lovely? I tell you what, if I had my tent with me on this leg of the walk, I would choose this as my camping spot. Beautiful setting. We've got a freshwater stream running up here for our water, and nice relatively flat spot for pitching the tent, and a lovely view. And if I wanted to warm myself up by a fire, I could use that one, or do something over on the beach, as long as I disposed of the fire responsibly afterwards. Good morning, Sunday the 17th of April 2011. Stayed in a very nice B&B overnight in Newport, and this is Newport Sands. Lovely weather today. I think it's going to be a good sunny day overall. And this is the last day of the Pembrokeshire Coast Path section of the walk. I've been walking it south to north. Most people walk it from north to south for some reason. And tonight I'm heading up to St Dogmaels. This apparently is the hardest leg of the walk. It's 16 miles, but 3,000 feet of ascent, which is not quite a Snowdon, but just over a penny van. So a long day ahead of me. I've got plenty of food and water on board, and I'm going to try and have a break every couple of hours. But I doubt whether I get in much before 8:30, 8:45 tonight at the pace I walk compared to everyone else. I mean, all these people that write guidebooks and stuff, they obviously don't carry a backpack and a super fit marathon racing snakes. So good knows what they're on about. Anyway, I mean, it said in the guidebook, oh, it's a tough section of the walk today, you should allow yourself, expect to be walking for 8 hours. Well, I'm sorry, but I mean, I walk 8 hours on a relatively easy day, so it just goes to show. So yeah, the plan is to head back to London tomorrow and have a couple of weeks off, and then be back down to continue. Anyway, we're going to be going along sections of the coast today with very high cliffs, over 500 feet or so of cliffs, and I'll show you those as we go along. That is Newport Sands, with Newport behind, and Parog as well. I think Parog is that cluster over there. We've just come up a very, very steep section. I'm just out of sight of it now. And then we've got this sort of rocky path going through gorse and whatever else it is. Maybe it's heather. Some of it might be heather. Rolling up there. Now, this is the sign they put up just before you go onto the stretch of path from Newport Sand to Poppet Sands. 12.8 miles. This is a remote, rugged and challenging stretch of the Pembrokeshire coast path. Please keep to the path, avoid the cliff edge. On this stretch there are numerous very steep hills and sheer cliffs to seaward. From this point there are no escape routes or exit points except at blah de blah de blah de blah, the first one being at 6.1 miles. No drinking water or other facilities except at blah de blah de blah de blah. St Dogmaels, which I'm heading, is 14.1 miles from this point. Wow, okay, well I'm on this stretch of path now, which is quite remote, but I come up against this huge pile of earth. Look at this, and I'm not saying they've caused it, but these are badgers, a lot of badgers around here. You can see how the badgers have got their little trail and then going in there. So I wonder whether the badgers have completely excavated all of this earth out of their set. I think they must have done, because there's no landfall here, and this is all sort of quite fresh. So look at the amount of earth they displace. I mean, that's probably a ton of earth. Amazing. And I keep on going. Yeah, somebody's very nicely put I think it's a sheep skull on the little signpost there. This is Carrig Ispar, don't know how you pronounce it, but it's an arch which then goes through to this little cove. I am quite simply blown away by the beauty of this final stretch of the Pembrokeshire coast path, going up to St Dogmaels. I mean, it is just so pretty, and there's no one around. There have been people around, but not up here. People talk about this rock strata here, the way the rock's been folded into these ups and downs. What are they called? Synclines, anticlines? I don't know, but they are layers and layers and layers of rock. And when I've got to the top on the far side, I'm going to reward myself with a cup of tea and a biscuit. Well, I've just stopped to have a break on a point which I think is called, we'll pronounce Pennyafra, and then we're looking south and eastwards back along the coastline. You can see how the cloud forms over the cliff tops, and way off into the distance there. No one else around at this point on the path. I think this section of the path you only are on it if you're walking quite a long chunk of it in a day. So you've got the place to yourself, and the weather continues to hold. It is beautiful, getting quite, I have to say it, Handkerchief Man is back.
Hello.
I bought myself a cap and went and lost it the day I bought it. It fell out of a pocket, so I'm back to the handkerchief for the last hour or so. Anyway, it is absolutely stunning, and despite all my grumblings earlier in the walk on this leg, it's all come together nicely today. Look, little lammies, lovely, all in a little pen. Don't quite know why, but there they are. I'm on the outskirts of St Dogmaels, which is at the end of the Pembrokeshire coast path, so I'm in the last sort of half an hour or 3/4 of an hour of the walk. Got this estuary here, little island there, and then St Dogmaels is along the shore. The Pembrokeshire coast path is stunning. It is absolutely beautiful, and I have been so lucky with the weather, particularly on days like today. It has been absolutely superb. What I've been battling with is just the day-to-day grind of getting the miles done, and I also, wasn't feeling too good anyway. So I don't want to convey any impression that the Pembrokeshire coast path is not worth a visit. It is stunning. And in fact, I've bumped into 3 people today who were starting out from this end, heading down south, and they were all very excited, and I was able to reassure them how beautiful it all is. And I think the last 3 or 4 days of walking the route that I've done, which is south to north, are without doubt the nicest. You've got some incredible scenery, wonderful wildlife, and I will definitely be back with a camera and what have you to spend a few days here at a later stage having a holiday where I can just sit and relax and enjoy this incredible scenery. So I will definitely be back. I have a feeling this is one of the areas I would be very tempted to actually settle down in if I could earn a living being based up here, which is another thing altogether. Well, that's St Dogmaels, which marks the village where the coast path finishes. Now, I don't know if this is it, but there is a plinth, all looking very memorial-like. And I'm assuming this is the marker. Yes, it is. With a mosaic acorn. So I started at Amroth, through Tenby, Pembroke, Ilford Haven, St David's, Fishguard, St Dogmaels. This is where I've ended up.